You're watching News.Markets. What does the planned $100 billion mega merger between Anheuser-Busch InBev and SAB Miller mean for the global brewing market? The new brewer the deal would create would have a global market share of 30%. Bear in mind that the smaller players are in single digits, like Japan's Kirin, with 2.3% market share. Even Heineken, the world's third largest brewer by volume, will be left way behind if the planned merger goes ahead. Well, Justin Urquhart-Stewart from 7 Investment Management joins me now. Thanks for coming in.
Pleasure.
Now, do you think, first of all, that this mega merger will get the go-ahead from regulators?
This is a dreadful merger. This is the bland meets the tasteless of two really, really big, dull producers. And that's very unfair. I'm sure they make a wonderful product. But as a personal consumer, I can barely tell the difference. Will it go ahead? The answer is yes, it probably will. Not just for business reasons, but some of the characters actually involved in it need to be able to do this deal. So there's actually some personal reasons behind it all. So will the regulator actually allow it? Well, only if there are going to be certain disposals, and that'll particularly happen in the US. So watch out for those coming through. They may be quite significant. You cannot have 30% or 33% share and expect the world to be able to sit there and say that's fine. So those disposals will provide hopefully some opportunities for some spin-offs.
So there will be some opportunity, some of those brands up for grabs. How do you think it will play out? How will it change the market?
Well, you're never going to get anyone as large as they are at the moment, but nonetheless, those brands will be up for sale. Who's going to buy them? Well, the likes of Heineken will do so, and some of those Japanese ones you mentioned as well, who don't have much coverage outside Japan.
So this is a real opportunity for the Japanese brewers, isn't it? Because in their own turf, they have a huge majority of the market. It's a different picture globally.
Absolutely, ubiquitous domestically, unknown internationally. They could try and promote themselves, of course they can, and we do know their brands, but not really in the popular world. But buying somebody else's, picking up some other brands and being able to use that as a promotion, that's probably a better way for them to go about it. So I think that's going to be quite an interesting call overall. The question is then, I suppose, what happens to the rest of these other ones going in here? And so that's going to be fascinating because they will be able to buy up, but equally you may find some other mergers going on. Heineken have already said they would like to actually get larger, and not just by selling more Heineken.
But they turned down SAB Miller.
They did, and it was interesting to. I'm sure there's more news to come out of that one behind it all as to why that didn't actually happen. But whether that was price or not, I don't know.
So that's if it does happen. What if it doesn't happen? Will the status quo remain, or do you think there'll still be some changes? Because consumer tastes and trends are changing.
Yes, and the consumer tastes are changing away from actually what these big brands are currently selling. You know, tasteless lager is ubiquitous, and I'm pleased to say...
In your opinion?
In my opinion, purely personal opinion, but one or two others with me. But actually, where is the growth? And the growth is coming in the craft beers. And those areas, which are now much more specialist, also carry a premium price. And people are willing to pay more for what they regard as a better product. Now, domestically, of course, we don't really have many brewers in this country. We've got our old friend Fuller's, of course, have been there for years. And I can't remember a year doesn't go by when someone says someone's going to buy Fuller's. That probably won't happen. But nonetheless, these smaller beer companies will be developing. So watch out for some of the medium-sized companies going around picking up craft beers where they can to actually use that. So this I actually find rather exciting.
So it could end up changing the product. It could end up changing what we drink as well as the way the companies form their business plans.
Absolutely. I think that's what's going to be so exciting. You know, the big old lager factories are still going to be there. There's always a demand for that. You know, if it's hot and sunny, then you probably have some lager. But actually now there's a demand for higher caliber, different tasting beers, which have got a premium price to them. And that's where you're going to see more development. So you can see how that develops. And then you've got the likes of those then medium-sized brewers and some of the domestic ones that we've got, which have done very well out of being able to building up their range of outlets and being able to make sure those outlets are quite successful in terms of actually making sure they're turning into more food outlets and things like that. But again, at the premium end, where they do that, that works very successfully.
But do you think that mergers are the future of the brewing industry, no matter which way this deal goes? I'm just trying to establish whether it matters that the small players are small.
No, I think it's actually rather healthy. What you'll find is there will be small players, they will get scooped up. What happens then? More will turn up. That's what happens. You know, the large players want to be able to access cheap brands. And you just go and buy a small brand and make it bigger. So they'll be looking around to try and find something which is giving them a little bit different for them, which they can then put their marketing power behind and get some real value out of. So that's what they're doing. They're going around just picking little daisies around the place at the moment, and they can see if they can turn those daisies into a proper bush. No,
and I will drink to that. Justin Urquhart-Stewart from 7 Investment Management, an absolute pleasure talking to you. Thank you.
Thank you.